Democrats
They're
win
going to say
when
we're a bunch of
figure
crazy
out what is
socialists.
right.
We are more worried
and
about
get out
winning an
there
argument
and
than
fight
winning
for
an
it.
election.
So let's just stand up for the right policy.
A high school senior has bigger plans than most after graduation.
This 17-year-old has spent the last year as a student activist. Now,
So I'm Marcel McClinton, and I'm a candidate for Houston City Council at Large 3. There's so much going on in Houston right now, and I want to see that change happen right now. And if I've got the ideas, if I've got the support, why would I not want to make that change, today?
I'm gonna wait until we get on the highway to start talking, just so I can focus and not get us killed. Marcel's an example of a new wave of young people that are running for office because they're tired of the bullshit. We're on our way to Marcel's campaign offices to talk to him about, what is the likelihood that he could win? What is his pathway to victory? And how can we elect not Democrats or Republicans, but morally just leaders that care about young people? The message after the shooting in Parkland was go out and vote, go out and make your voice heard, not for any political party, but for morally just leaders that care about whether or not kids die. If we go out and vote and make our voices heard, the politicians in power will actually have to give a shit about us, which would be kind of nice. Marcel?
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing?
Long time no see.
Great to see you.
Good to see you. Right on, David.
Right on, man. Nice to meet you.
David.
Yeah, this is his space. Director of Content Creation, we'll say.
Yeah, so this is our new creative labs. We just moved in, so
He's been painting all day.
yeah, we've been painting all day, just getting stuff done.
Yeah, I'll just show you around Radon's office. Or Radon, you want to show him?
Yeah, sure. In the back over here, there's like an eating area, put a kitchen right here. And then this is like where all the magic is gonna happen. Is pretty much, we're gonna have like a little studio on the backside over there, workstation, all that. We literally just moved in. What is up, Avante?
This man's always sudden.
How you doing, David? Nice to meet you.
David, Avante, you guys know
is
each
up?
other.
So Avante's your campaign manager.
Yeah, running it. He's running the show.
Yeah, so I went from actually being a candidate, running my own race, and getting to see what politics was about and really understanding the landscape. And I didn't like the traditional way of running things.
Yeah.
And I told Marcel that don't run a traditional campaign because traditional for young people isn't going to work. Because 9 times out of 10, we don't have the capital to do it, but we have the creativity to pull it off.
That's a really good point that you bring up, and the fact that young people running across the country aren't going to have multi-million-dollar super donors oftentimes. But as such, we can use the one thing that we do have, which is creativity and Twitter and Instagram, and prove that we know what we're talking about, and in fact, we can do it better than them.
Young people just need to understand that it's not about the money, it's about what you have to resources you have to connect to everyone.
Because number one, we're not gonna get the large donors because they're gonna go with the safe bet. We're not safe. So young people rallying behind him, that will make the biggest difference in his race. I was told that young people don't vote. I believe that he would be able to get those votes. And I believe that was our path to victory.
And that's what's so dangerous to our opponent. Everyone told me to not run against Michael Kubosh because he's got his grip on people in the city, across the city, and they're dedicated to him and that connection. But I said I don't give a shit. I just don't care. I'm running against him because his morals are bad. His vision is terrible.
Not even that, there's things to fix.
There's so many things
There's
to
so
fix.
many things to fix.
In his 2 terms on the city council, Michael Kubosh is best known for his opposition to cash bail reform. He also coincidentally runs a bail bonds business.
I have grandchildren that are older than him, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good person.
Marcel has a challenge in getting the attention of Houston's voters. Kubosh was formerly endorsed by the city's main paper, the Houston Chronicle. And he's stifling Marcel in the race to raise cash. Recent filings show the Kubosh campaign with a war chest of $122,000 compared to Marcel's $8,600.
We don't think his base is growing. We actually think we can take his votes away. We don't think a lot of the people that voted for him last time understood him on these issues. And now he's had 4 years to prove where he stands on a lot of these issues that are really important to these communities.
So Chris has not lost, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for about 15 years.
He hasn't lost a city council race.
I'm the former director of the political party here in Harris County. In 2016, we had a great time here in Harris County. I know the country had a big loss, but actually we swept for the Democratic Party, actually swept the entire elections. This last year, we elected over 18 Black women to be judges here in Harris County. We're one of the most diverse counties. Now we have one of the most diverse court systems. We want to make sure we have one of the most diverse city councils. And I think diversity also isn't just about race, it's about age.
Yeah.
It's about people looking at things differently. And that's why a candidate like Marcel brings those things to us.
And you're formerly a Republican.
Well, right? Sure, I mean, yeah, sure. So I had a Texas GOP internship and left that.
And what changed your mind?
So that was the 2016 election in the Texas GOP. Started off with the Harris County Party, and we were sent to events, told to give talking points, and we did. And then over the course of just that 2016 election, I was exposed to the sad truth that everything I'd been told in these offices were lies. Right? They ask you as a Black person, what have the Dems ever done for you? And look at prosperity in this party. And then, I got older and I mean, I was looking at TV and reading a lot more and did my own research and found that, that wasn't a party that I wanted to be associated with in any way. And looking now, there's no fucking way I want to be associated with that party.
Well, and I think it goes back to the key contrast is when you talk about issues, I think the contrast between Marcel and his opponent is so huge. Marcel's opponent has been silent on all these issues that matter to the majorities of our population, to young people, to Latinos, to people of color. I believe that we need new faces. And part of the problem is we don't have faces that look like the people that we need to vote. He is the ideal candidate for the city of Houston, the most diverse city in America.
One of the youngest, too.
Yeah.
The youngest.
You have Jack in the Box here?
We do.
I thought that was only California, or like
really?
The West Coast. Do you have In-N-Out?
No.
But you do have Whataburger.
We have Whataburger.
But go back to what you were saying.
What was I talking about?
Have you graduated high school?
I did, 3 weeks ago.
What are your plans for college and how do you plan to manage this?
I'm taking a gap year this year to run. So next year I'll go to school, and that just depends. If we win, when we win, it'll have to stay local, and if not, I'm for sure gonna stay in Texas. Yeah.
Are we going past the church?
This is where the shooting happened.
However insane it sounds, Marcel and I have gun violence in common. On Memorial Day weekend of 2016, a man opened fire with an AR-15 as Marcel was teaching Sunday school.
So, over here, this small building with a red top on it is where the shooting started. He blew up the gas station over there, the Conoco that was on fire. An officer was shot in his car, and I was in this classroom here with that window. I was teaching Sunday school class to a bunch of toddlers. And so we took the kids and put them in a back room. A mom came into the classroom and said that there was a shooter and to hide the kids. You would be in the front where we were, and all you heard was like a war zone, just gunshots and helicopters and sirens. And then you would go into the sanctuary and you would hear music. And they played Finding Nemo. And just the difference in sounds was.
And have you gotten therapy?
No. They wanted me to. But when I was 15, 14, I just thought that a counselor couldn't possibly, tell me what was wrong with me if they hadn't seen or heard what I, had heard and seen. That was my mindset. The feeling of like, I know you get this, just being so certain that you're gonna die, like that's what I could not get out of my head. And I can't explain that to anybody.
Feeling that, of terror that you have to internalize and bottle up every time you meet someone new.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if they're getting close enough to say hi or to shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time I don't get that feeling is when I'm in one of two places, the airport or a different country.
Yeah. Really.
Like myself, Marcel was spurred into action by catastrophe. After the shooting, meeting with other young survivors of gun violence, Marcel was introduced to the political system and all of its lethal shortcomings. He decided to jump in with 2 feet.
Everyone who runs for office goes to Doña Maria, and we might see some candidates in there today.
We're on our way to see Juan right now.
Yeah, he is one of the civic leaders out in the Denver Harbor area. It's one of the most forgotten and abandoned parts of our city. There's a lot of undocumented folks who live here. There's a lot of low-income folks who live here. But Juan, what I like about Juan is he holds folks accountable all the time. If you're a candidate who's dissed him in your time in office, you're not going to eat at his restaurant. He's going to kick you the fuck out in front of everybody and call you out for it. Marcel, by the way. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Marcel.
You're running for
Houston City Council, at large 3. And Juan, I mean, the restaurant is just a huge, key place to go to in the city if you're running for anything or if you're just around.
Right.
And the food's good just anyways, so you gotta come. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm running for at large 3 City Council.
Yeah, he's running against
Marcel,
Kubash.
nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
19-year-old.
He's 17.
17.
Oh, 17?
I turned 18 in July.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we need.
Make sure you register to vote.
I will.
What do you think about Marcel running as a 17-year-old?
Well, you know what? I saw him on TV, and he impressed me a lot. I said, man, this kid looked like he wants, he knows what he wants done.
Yeah.
But I'll tell every politician, if you're gonna say something, do it.
Yeah.
I'm fed up. The people in Denver Harbor fed up. You're frustrated. I mean, big time. I don't know what else to say. The mayor and I sometimes, I talk to him a lot about Denver Harbor. He keeps telling me Denver Harbor is not ignored. Well, sir, go out there and look at Denver Harbor.
Right.
Nobody does anything.
Yeah.
They know the problem. If you get elected, don't forget what you tell us, because I will come back and haunt you.
I know you will. Yeah. I know you will.
Remember, I think I explained to you about all the trains blocking all our intersections in Denver Harbor? This trade issue has been going on forever, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 4 main drags in Denver Harbor, and they block all 4 streets coming in. And I'm not talking about 15, 20 minutes. I'm talking for a while.
The cops can't get into the...
The fire department can't get out. They can't come in.
Trains halting traffic is a citywide problem that especially affects Denver Harbor. Union Pacific Railway trains will stop and entangle city streets for hours. It's a nuisance for drivers and also a potentially deadly roadblock for emergency vehicles.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Cool. Thanks again, man.
One thing that I noticed about Marcel at Juan's restaurant was his ability to listen,
That would be the train.
and that Juan wasn't lying.
Never actually had to deal with this. How long are we gonna sit here? It just sits here.
Why is this train stopped specifically in the most inconvenient fucking place possible?
At the end of the tracks, there's just little rest spot for the conductor. He gets out of the train, goes potty break, eat, or whatever else he does. The train is here for 3 to 4 hours. Again, every day. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Just wait in line. This is on both sides of the track. To think that Union Pacific can do this and harm this community, it's fucked up.
Here it goes.
It's rolling.
They heard us.
They did.
Marcel McClinton, a candidate that can move trains.
I can move trains.
Marcel continued the tour, guiding me to another notoriously underserved community in Houston. The homeless people living under the overpasses of Interstate 59.
This guy, Joe, my mom built a relationship with him just driving down here almost every single day, and would bring him coffee and stuff every morning, or a donut or something, just something. But he's been making it work out here. He's been homeless for like 20 years.
Most people think as a homeless person a bum. I wish I could work. I wish I could. But I'm not going to ask for Social Security. I'll stand out there and beg. I will. I'm a Marine, bro. I did my time. I fought for my country. If I could make it out there fighting for this country, I can make it right here in my country. All right, guys. I'm not out to bother enough. Not to live. That's all I can do. I take care of my animals. I feed these pigeons here. All of them get fed by me, come for me. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
I think it's pretty cool.
Houston's homeless are a community that most politicians don't spend a lot of time getting to know. Marcel inherited his empathy for the homeless from his mother. She has a perspective on homelessness that only someone that has been there can have.
Marcel was not even 1 year old, so she was not even 2 years old when I had to leave my ex-husband. I was lucky that I had babies so that I got shelter, because everywhere else, even the big shelters in the city and downtown, they all said no. So I was on a list too for the housing progress. And they told me to that time, 3 years waiting list. Where do you wait if a shelter tells you after 3 months you have to leave?
Especially as a single mom with, 2 infants.
Right.
Who barely speaks English.
How is it when you live in a shelter? You feel like family, warm, support. But if you have to leave, you feel like you're drowning in an ocean. And that is something where I look forward when Marcel can help the homeless people with my experience and say, hey, I know what is missing, what my mom missed. And then talking to the other people, adding what they are missing.
Yeah, got it. I think older folks write off young people. We don't write big checks and we don't turn out to vote in droves. And to change that is we have to start voting in droves, making ourselves the threat.
We sat down with some local young people to ask them about how these issues affect them and what it means to see another young person like Marcel running.
My name's Ashlyn Carr.
My name is Jacob Castillo.
My name is William Kim.
My name is Elizabeth Bond.
My name's Rebecca Fox.
I've heard this from a lot of older people, young people, they don't care about anything other than themselves, right? And then once we do start getting involved, what do they say? You're too young to know what you're talking about, right?
People are pretty shocked when they find out that young people are actually getting involved. I've gotten dismissed for standing up for things just as too young, or a girl who's going through a phase almost like they think my opinions aren't as strong or as valuable, when I know what I believe in and I know what I'm passionate about, and I know what I'm trying to fight for.
What was it? There's a statistic, the Fortune 100 or the Fortune 500, there's fewer women than guys named John at the head of companies, right? Really? I mean, it's 2019, right?
John's gotta go.
So that was Marcel McClinton, 17-year-old running for city council in Houston, Texas. Houston is one of the most diverse cities in America, and it's one of the fastest growing. So it may be a microcosm for whether or not young people can win in 2020. Go out there and be proud of being a young person, and stop taking no for an answer and start turning those no's into yeses, because that's what Marcel did, and that's what you can do too. Thanks for watching Party Crashers. For more information on how to get involved, check out the links below. If you're a young person that's about to go to college and needs their absentee ballot, or just needs to register to vote, you can go to vote.org for more information.